Go Expo features exhibitors from the new and the unknown, also right up to the biggest names in technology. IHS is actually one of those big names. The company's signature product is called AccuMap, which is apparently, if you're not in the oil industry, it is a household word in the oil sector. And now IHS is coming to market with even better mapping software. Back to Bob Nicholson.
Few industries have as much stored public data as the energy industry, and few have more need of the information. It's a need that's created a profitable long-term business for IHS of Calgary. IHS makes vast amounts of data available to oil and gas companies. Now its new EnerDeck product makes that information easier to access.
At a glance right now, you can take a look and you can see that these are all of the Petro-Canada wells that are flowing gas. It eliminates wells that are not flowing gas. It eliminates oil wells, anything that's abandoned or something that's just simply not in your interest.
It's got increased functionalities. It's built on a new platform, so it's a much more up-to-date piece of software versus AccuMap. The huge advantage that it offers our customers is the ability to aggregate their own proprietary data with IHS master data, so they can look at not only their own activity in a given area of interest, but their activity in conjunction with everyone else to get the full picture.
Lebrec admits there are competitors in the land mapping space, but he's not worried.
There are a couple of other smaller competitors. I mean, we really are the major industry leaders in this area. We revolutionized the business with first with AccuMap and then with AccuLogs a number of years later, so we do hold a very strong market position.
There's certainly enough data to go around. In the past 60 years, the oil and gas business has drilled more than 1 million wells in Western Canada, and every one has its own story. For theEnergyNews.com in Calgary, I'm Bob Nicholson.
And that is James, that was some very, very interesting technology there as well. Now, for more on IHS and what they've got planned, I've got with me James Perry from the company.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. I mean, lots of questions here. I guess the first thing is, every time you have sort of a new generation of this kind of technology, it sort of ramps things up. But how long does it take to get that together and put it all together?
Start to finish, we began developing EnerDeck in parallel with our flagship product AccuMap, I would say about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I would say the entire cycle to get it to fruition was probably 4 years start to finish, so we've got about another year to go.
What's the impetus for something? I always wonder this. I mean, what is the impetus for a product like this? Does a market come to you and say, we need this, or are you sitting there at having a coffee one day and suddenly the light comes on and you think, I've got this great idea, or is it kind of a collaboration between you and the market?
Actually, it was specifically all me. I made the decision. In this case, it was actually quite easy. There's sort of two drivers behind it. The mapping package we have now, AccuMap, in the industry is the largest used product of its kind. Probably about 600 companies, maybe 10,000 users. Having said that, it got that way because it's about 17 years old. A 17-year-old software product is obviously built on 17-year-old technology, and it's very, very important to us as a company to make sure that we provide best-of-breed technologies and answers to our clients going forward. And we recognized a few years ago that because we had old technology underneath the mapping package, that it was in the best interest of us to start developing something that would take over, so we could pass the baton and give our customers the best technology that's out there.
Bob told us a little bit about what your product does, etc. And showed us a little bit, but I'm going to give you the chance to brag here. Tell me a little bit more about what this can actually do, because it seems very, very versatile.
It's very versatile. It's quite powerful. We call it an integrated mapping query analysis tool because those are really the three things that it does do. You're able to graphically represent all sorts of oil and gas data on a map. You can query the database to extract data that's only important to what you want to do, what you want to find. And you can also do analysis on the data once you've asked the questions of the database. This is very important in that when you integrate all of these together, you reduce the need for redundant functionality and having several tools do the same thing and then trying to bring it all together. So it's quite powerful that way. You reach a very broad base of discipline as well, engineers, geologists, land people.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that. Who else are the potential clients for this?
Well, the oil and gas industry is really just the tip of the iceberg. We have a number of data sets that could lend themselves to things like environmental groups and that sort of thing. pipeline companies wanting to see where the pipelines are or tell us the data underneath, don't dig here,
Right.
that sort of idea. So
No,
it's
that's
really not
interesting, yeah.
restricted to the oil and gas industry. And we'll be examining some of those marketing opportunities in the future.
Kind of like an industrial dial before you dig setup.
Yeah, we have people like that using our data right now.
What about costs? I mean, how cost effective is it compared to some of the other alternatives that are out there?
It's very, very competitive. It's a tight industry. There's probably only about 5 or 6 of us doing what we're doing in this integrated way, and we all know who we are. We're quite competitive.
Pretty high barrier to entry then, is that what you're saying? Or?
Absolutely not. It really depends on what type of company. Not every company is exploring for oil and gas. We have companies that have no oil and gas production, for instance an environmental company, in which case we scale that down. Typically the sales model for an oil and gas exploration company would be how large are you, how many users, and
Right.
we'd come up with a pricing model that's according to that.
Where do you take it from here? What's the next step?
The
The next product, I guess, or the next generation of this product.
Well, right now we've integrated pretty much all of the engineering functionality that we need to into the product. All of our land functionality will be going in by the end of next month, and then we'll start focusing on subsurface geology, which will be done probably about this time next year.
All right. Well, really interesting stuff. I'd actually like to see it in operation.
I'd like to show it to you.
Bob got to come out to your
Yeah.
nerve center there, but thanks for coming in and telling us about it, and we'll be watching.
Oh, super! You're very
All right.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's James Perry, who's a product specialist with IHS, joining us here for more on the AccuMap.